You certainly can, and there's a couple of reasons why. First off, there is no absolute imperative that your solicitor receive funds from an account in your name, but many firms in the UK prefer to receive funds from an account in your name because it assists them with their know your client and anti-money laundering processes and compliance. Second thing is that when PrimeCap sends a payment for you, so when the market maker, when the company that we have engaged to buy and sell currency for you has your pounds ready and available to send, they are released from an account in your name. When we register you, we create for you a standalone sort of virtual account. It's not a current account. It's not something you could access or debit from. It doesn't have a card associated with it. It's purely just for the sending and receiving of the currency you want to use us for. But it essentially means that when your solicitor receives funds from us, so from that account, they are coming from you. It is an account held in your name and is entirely compliant with some of the more peculiar or idiosyncratic requests of solicitors, those who insist on receiving a payment from an account held in their client's name. But it's absolutely and eminently possible to do that. And I am totally aware of the fact that my last slide makes me seem sort of holier than thou, as if to sort of suggest that I'm condemning the practices that go into buying and selling currencies for businesses. I'm not at all. We work for some businesses. But my point is that our skill set, PrimeCap's skill set as a business, is better applied to dealings with individuals and those who advise them. It's a longer term relationship. Trust is key and crucial. And with businesses, it can be a lot more transactional. I give you a good price, or I give you the best price, and you will buy currency from me. It's a lot harder, perhaps, to sell the reassurance, the confidence that you are able to give a client. That in itself is crucial to a proposition to a private client. So the confidence with which I speak about currency, when someone presents to me their concerns or the sort of hoops through which they have to jump through, and the fact that I can confidently respond to them saying, don't worry, you do X, Y, and Z, and we can achieve A, B, C, and D. That is crucial to my relationship with my client, and that is key to that's key to what we enjoy about the work that we do for private clients. Now, with businesses, it's a little bit more sort of, you plug the numbers into a machine and bing, here comes the solution. So it just doesn't really fit particularly well with our strategy for growth and the areas where we sort of really excel as a business. I spent an hour earlier today on the phone with a client wanting to move funds from the UK to Turkey, talking through various sort of different iterations of how they might achieve that. With a corporate client who already has, whose currency activity predates even the role of the individual, the finance manager that one might be speaking with, you cannot take as much time. There are multiple stakeholders in that business. Whereas with private clients, it becomes more meaningful. Oh gosh, it sounds so soppy to say that. It sounds so very sentimental to say that, one feels as though one is more valuable to a private client, when actually the margin of improvement that one can offer to whichever corporate or business or indeed individual client is the same. However, an individual is far less likely to have had exposure to the sort of personal financial services a la PrimeCap than a business is. So I suppose the feeling of our usefulness, it feels as though one is more useful to an individual. Likewise, I see a huge market, untapped as yet, I suppose, but in terms of the alignment between personal financial services providers and other complementary industries. And I've talked often about the synergy that I see between the estate agency world, particularly in prime central London, because of the number of foreign buyers and the number of domestic vendors who are repatriating proceeds. I've talked at length about the potential synergy between the two and how I think that foreign exchange will become a more mainstream product for those businesses, because they can white label the sort of work that PrimeCap does and have someone like me sat in the office who is handling all of the currency traffic that comes through the doors of whatever estate agency it might be. So there's a natural affinity between a private client brokerage and other advisors to the private client high net worth space. And again, I say that, you cannot, and I say this a lot, you cannot cold call a private client. But one of the main key performance indicators, so KPIs, for corporate foreign exchange outfits are the number of companies that their junior brokers are tasked with ringing. Probably a bit like other industries as well. You can't cold call for private clients. You cannot establish a relationship or a rapport by flicking through the yellow pages and supposing that Mr. and Mrs. Snooks might have a house overseas. It has to be done through a far more personal strategy, getting to know those who are connected with high net worth or globally mobile individuals. Anyway, I say this every time, rant over. It's not really a rant, other than to say that